second.
Every second.
So when WHO signs off, on what is acceptable as a vaccine for the people of Trinidad and Tobago, I will be the first in line to have my vaccine as long as it is, you will be second.
Every second.
As long as it is signed off by WHO as a scientific product for this purpose.
Politics, we don't get no kicks. Trinidad and Tobago, do we have this thing out the fix? We coming with facts, got them don't like acts. Every kid and race, finally got places love to the max. And when we tell them, Manel, Douglas politics, this is Douglas politics, yo. Douglas politics, listen, Douglas politics, yeah. Douglas politics, this is Douglas politics, yeah. Douglas politics, this is Douglas politics.
And it is zero race talk, zero idiotic talk. I deal with facts and information.
Douglas politics, we don't get no kicks. Trinidad and Tobago, do we have this thing out the fix? We coming with facts, got them don't like acts. Every kid and race, finally got places love to the max. And when we tell them, Manel, Douglas politics, this is Douglas politics, yo. Douglas politics, listen, Douglas politics, yeah. Douglas politics, this is Douglas politics, yeah. Douglas politics, this is Douglas politics.
And it is zero race talk, zero idiotic talk. I deal with facts and information.
Douglas politics, we don't get no kicks. Trinidad and Tobago, do we have this thing out the fix? We coming with facts, got them don't like acts. Every kid and race, finally got places love to the max. And when we tell them, Manel, Douglas politics, this is Douglas politics, yo. Douglas politics, listen, Douglas politics, yeah. Douglas politics, this is Douglas politics, yeah. Douglas politics, this is Douglas politics.
And it is zero race talk, zero idiotic talk. I deal with facts and information.
Douglas politics, we don't get no kicks. Trinidad and Tobago, do we have this thing out the fix? We coming with facts, got them don't like acts. Every kid and race, finally got places love to the max. And when we tell them, Manel, Douglas politics, this is Douglas politics, yo. Douglas politics, listen, Douglas politics, yeah. Douglas politics, this is Douglas politics, yeah. Douglas politics, this is Douglas politics.
And it is zero race talk, zero idiotic talk. I deal with facts and information.
Douglas politics, we don't get no kicks. Trinidad and Tobago, do we have this thing out the fix? We coming with facts, got them don't like acts. Every kid and race, finally got places love to the max. And when we tell them, Manel, politics, yo. Douglas politics. Listen, Douglas politics, yeah. Douglas politics. This is Douglas politics, yeah. Douglas politics. This is Douglas politics.
And it is zero race talk, zero idiotic talk. I deal with facts and information.
Politics, we don't get no kicks. Trinidad and Tobago, do we have this thing out to fix? We coming with facts, got them don't like acts. Every kid and race finally got places love to the max. And when we tell them, man, Douglas politics, this is Douglas politics, yo. Douglas politics, listen, Douglas politics, yeah. Douglas politics, this is Douglas politics, yeah. Douglas politics, this is Douglas politics.
And it is zero race talk, zero idiotic talk. I deal with facts and information.
Douglas politics, we don't get no kicks. Trinidad and Tobago, do we have this thing out to fix? We coming with facts, got them don't like acts. Every kid and race finally got places love to the max. And when we tell them, man, Douglas politics, this is Douglas politics, yo. Douglas politics, listen, Douglas politics, yeah. Douglas politics, this is Douglas politics, yeah. Douglas politics, this is Douglas politics.
And it is zero race talk, zero idiotic talk. I deal with facts and information.
Douglas politics, we don't get no kicks. Trinidad and Tobago, do we have this thing out to fix? We coming with facts, got them don't like acts. Every kid and race finally got places love to the max. And when we tell them, man, Douglas politics, this is Douglas politics, yo. Douglas politics, listen, Douglas politics, yeah. Douglas politics, this is Douglas politics, yeah. Douglas politics, this is Douglas politics.
And it is zero race talk, zero idiotic talk. I deal with facts and information.
Douglas politics, we don't get no kicks. Trinidad and Tobago, do we have this thing out to fix? We coming with facts, got them don't like acts. Every kid and race finally got places love to the max. And when we tell them, man, Douglas politics, this is Douglas politics, yo. Douglas politics, listen, Douglas politics, yeah. Douglas politics, this is Douglas politics, yeah. Douglas politics, this is Douglas politics.
And it is zero race talk,
He
zero
didn't lie
idiotic
about
talk.
this.
I deal with
And
facts and information.
An MRI? Oh, the MRI not working? Oh, is a CAT scan? Oh Lord, poor Rowley Express. When Manning was ill, sick and dying, and he stand up on a platform and say, look at that man, who's the last man who put me out anyway? Look what happened. I from Mason Hall, near to Likoto. The man take praise for another prime minister's ailment and death. And all you coming to tell people, cry a weeping tear, wish on a wishing well. to prove to us that he have COVID. Show us. Where the test? Who test? How many tests? How we getting results so fast? How we working? The laziest man in the history of prime ministerial office in the Caribbean, all of a sudden, when he healthy, he don't work. But now that he have COVID, oh, he'll be hosting cabinet and he working very hard. Look, Express, give me a flipping chance. When people suffering at the hands of this man, do you show disdain? When people are locked out of their own country, when people cannot fairly bid for contracts, when there is no procurement, when they got the procurement, when children cannot get food, cannot get education for a year, do you show this disdain, this pain, and tell that man to treat people with love and respect? Look, give me a chance, yes? Douglas Politics, and nearly give all you a whole show in a promo. 7:30 p.m. Friday night. 7:30 p.m. We starting on time. Log on, Rowley. I will wish you well in a wishing well, health and strength. My honest, brilliant, amazing leadership brother. You love people so much. You are an inspiration to all, Dr. Rowley. Douglas Politics, Friday night, 7:30 p.m.
Zero race talk, zero idiotic talk. I deal with facts and information.
This is Douglas Politics, yo. Douglas Politics. Listen, Douglas Politics, yeah. Douglas Politics. This is Douglas Politics, yeah. Douglas Politics. This is Douglas Politics. Douglas Politics. This is Douglas Politics, yo. Douglas Politics.
Good evening and welcome to Douglas Politics. Let me start off. I must give great respect to my colleagues downstairs in the parliament. All of them who told Dr. Keith Rowley, this is not no game. COVID-19 pandemic, you have suffered the country. You have people locked out outside who cannot get exemption, cannot come back. You all say in an election year that Dr. Rowley was doing so great that you all voted for this idiot. You all voted for this heartless clown. And now, when there is pressure on in the parliament, a man tests positive. He had on his scarf. He was dribbling, drinking water, sharing glass, hugging up man, talking to Rawi, leaning down, talking with small pin all over the country. Press conference inside with Nikwan, with Franklin Can. Two of them coughing up together. All you come now and say the parliament is somehow different from the rest of the country. I remember the whole of Chaguanas get sanitized. I remember market gets shut down because one person tests positive. A lady went in Republic Bank in Sawa, the whole branch shut down for 2 days to get sanitized. NIB building all across Trinidad and Tobago, wherever anybody tests positive, you shut down, you sanitize, you contact trace, you make sure and send home people, everybody in quarantine. But all of a sudden, in Balize House, COVID-19, let's have a Kobo vaccine. Once you reach in Balize House, COVID-19 don't spread. So Rowley spread across the board. Inside the parliament, no sanitization, nothing. The UNC said, listen, Madam Speaker, what is this? Why are we not following the laws, the contact tracing, all the laws that the rest of the country have to follow? Why is that not being implemented in the parliament? Well, blue hair take them on. So the UNC say fire burn that. We not going inside there. Very correct. One, there are some old members there with comorbidities who have to protect themselves and their family. Two, when you are a carrier, you take it home. And Dr. Rowley say that will be a burden to bear if you take COVID-19 home and someone in your family dies. I wonder if you will have a burden to bear because you take the COVID-19 and you spread it all over. Let me ask you all, because some of you all question it, but that the UNC want to shirk the responsibility and don't want to work. Don't be ridiculous. At Rowley, the lazy man who went on more holiday than work, the man who don't read no document, he now saying he didn't have no cabinet for 2 weeks. Okay, Rowley. So let's pretend that you are not the liar that we know you are. Let's pretend no gravel never rolled from by a hospital to buy you. Let's pretend that your friend and them didn't get permission from you to go up in the sky and increase the land value from 10 million to 850 million. Let's pretend Emailgate really made sense and they were really emails and you held it for 6 weeks and you brought it in. You didn't lie. Let's pretend while citizens lock out of Trinidad that Delcy didn't land on a PDVSA with 5 PDVSA officials on a sanctioned PDVSA jet and you start to stutter. I thought it was Jack Warner talking for a bit as Astrobal Chavez. Let me pretend that you didn't lie about the HDC Chinese contract when you was the Minister of Housing. Let me pretend you didn't lie about the Bridgman's contract. Well, let me take you at your word. So you didn't hold cabinet meeting in 2 weeks. You didn't interact with no cabinet ministers. Well, who running the flipping country then? Since all your people outside, no vaccine, we dead in. We are the last in the whole world, and you will have a cabinet meeting in 2 weeks. So who running the country? And who was running the country when you was in Mocha Golf Club playing 11 days ago? Who was running the country when you was playing at Mount Irving Golf Club just about 6 days ago? And all you who was in Mocha Golf Club, swinging club, sipping scotch, eating shrimps, and talking nonsense when Rowley was there and after Rowley was there. All you go in quarantine, eh? Don't feel because all you have money and all these rich people in golf club, all you do are go in quarantine. All you, Rowley could have infect all you. So all the Mocha Golf Club shut down for sanitization. Shut down the bar, shut down the food, shut down the links, shut it down. Mount Irving Golf Club, Millennium Golf Club, everywhere Rowley went. Because he wasn't in cabinet, because he didn't have no work to do. Because they come to tell people, go in the parliament. When one person in the EBC tests positive, they shut down EBC and sanitize. All across the board, Price Mart, Massey Stores, wherever, they had a hint of COVID. They have rules, procedure, protocol, and law. But under Balice and PNM, the law don't apply to them. COVID and science don't work with Balice. And that is why we are backward. Imagine in Norway, a country with oil and gas. Norway, that is one of the greatest destinations to live in the world next to Switzerland. Norway, who Heritage and Stabilization Fund, they had touched that. And it have billions and billions and billions of euros in it. Billions to last decades. Their Prime Minister, Ms. Solberg, she had a birthday and she breached the separation, the social distancing rules, the law. The police charge her and fine her 2,000 euros, multiplied by about 9. 18,000 TT they charge the Prime Minister of Norway. But watch we, Prime Minister, watch we own. Watch we boy, play it Nachi, show them that we boy in COVID. I feel I see Grabby Wabby wife there. Is this she was there? Grabby Wabby don't get no harass boy. Eh? The man take a junior minister wife and mash up the place with COVID, no COVID, all kind of thing. And all you're telling me to express saying, oh, we must show such respect to Rowley and wish him well. When Kirk may go on the UNC, wish him well, he spit on we and say, you don't want that, fire burn that. Why Express, you didn't write an editorial telling Rowley that that was inhumane, that was inappropriate and indisciplined and lacked decorum? Express are still waiting. When Patrick Mervyn Augustus Manning gets sick, when he had a stroke, when he fighting for his life, Rowley went on a platform and he didn't wish him well. In fact, he boasted that his ailment, his sickness, his illness, and his now dance with death was due to Rowley's dabbling with the macabre, with the spiritual world, with a spirit lash. Rowley said, and I quote, "Well, you see what happened to the last man who put me out of somewhere? I from Mason Hall, very close to Lake Oto, and that's what happens when you put me out of anywhere. Where was the Express?" That is the most disgusting thing. Me ain't no Manning fan, me ain't no Rowley fan, but that Rowley claiming that Manning went down to his deathbed because of a spirit lash that Rowley put on him, and all you ain't right nothing. But let me put it this way. In Norway, they deal with the Prime Minister. Look, the man who make the laws for we, and all your 7,000 plus all you get ticket, $1,000. Plenty all you get charged, pull over, riding your bike with your mask down, in your car with your wife and child, you get ticket. Police giving out ticket as if it is gas price in Point Lisas. Run the next one, run the tight shot, one shot, tight pants, landlord, run all Rawi, ala kiss man, run it, run it.
And today I want to appeal to the national population to not get tired. Do not become COVID weary, because it only takes the drop in the guard of a few people and the irresponsible conduct of a few people, maybe one or two parties, maybe one or two lines, to put us on a slope to go backwards.
Everybody just do the balize. Everybody just do the balize. Right foot, balize. Left foot, balize. Everybody just do the balize. Right foot, balize. Left foot, balize. Everybody just do the balize. Everybody just do the balize. Right foot, balize. Left foot, balize. Everybody just do the balize.
And the irresponsible conduct of a few people, maybe one or two parties, maybe one or two lines, to put us on a slope to go backwards.
But in Norway, the Prime Minister of Norway did not go and hug up no man, play no arm wrestle with man, sung like a donkey going, oh, hee-haw. She didn't do none of that. She just had a birthday line to celebrate her birthday, and police charged her 2,000 euros. But this bag of donkey here deciding and determining who had to pay, who the law applies to, and them above the law. And that is what you're all trying to defend. So Kamla Prasad Bisesa told you all, and the media will see if you all print it, when the UNC boycotted Parliament today, because the UNC believes that the law must apply evenly across the board, from president down to the baby, the law must apply. And if the Prime Minister tested positive, and within 6 or 7 days, when the outward quarantine period is 14 days, that you must quarantine all of you people. If they tell you all that you came into contact with somebody with COVID-19 testing positive, you have to go and quarantine by law. And if you come out of that quarantine, you are subject to punishment by law. But now in the Parliament, after Rowley sit down there, wipe his nose and dig his eye, and shake Al-Rawi hand, hug up small pin, tell him, boy, you're getting bigger every day. Them now come to say, go in the Parliament and conduct business normal. That is what they're trying to say. Listen to Kamla Prasad Bisesa, the leader of the opposition, and the woman was the best Prime Minister the country had, while the Express had Asha Javid under the small pin writing for them. The Guardian of Answer McCall and Rowley K-Pax writing against our government. And the Newsday, owned by PNM, and now edited by Judy Raymond, and all you feel this country fair? When that woman was giving children life-saving surgery, laptops, textbook, school feeding, sport, everything for people. This man, this bald clown in the Bermuda shirt that the Anglo-Saxons say, we must wear that to sound like we are idiots. We can't make computer, we can't create nothing, we can't make app. We are no laureates, we are no poets, we have no musicians, we are no great businessmen. We is just to put on a shirt like that clown or they call a prime minister and look like a bunch of jungle bunnies. That is what them want we to do. But listen to what Kamala Prasad Bisesa said, and listen carefully, because they're breaking the law in the parliament. Them who making law, them who telling you tone down, don't talk loud. Oh God, look my blue weave. Look at all of them. Run it.
The Prime Minister said it takes one fool, and now we have found the fool. That has become clear to the public. We found the fool. Because the law is very clear. They are breaking the law. The law is very clear. Here it is from the regulations. Public Health Regulation number 7, 2021, where the result of a test conducted by the CAFA or by a private lab under Regulation 11 shows, and I'm reading from it, Regulation 12, that a person is suffering from the 2019 novel coronavirus, the Minister of Health may give such directions as he thinks fit for A, the restraint, segregation, and isolation of that person or any other person who by exposure to infection from that person is likely to suffer from the 2019 novel coronavirus. B, the removal of a person referred to in paragraph A to a public hospital or a designated facility. Or C, the curative treatment of a person referred to in paragraph A. Here it is clearly the laws made by this government have been flouted and breached. As I say, a pattern of law breaking. So who has been placed under restraint? Who has been isolated apart from the Prime Minister? Here we have on the 27th of March, very clearly, 8 days before the positive testing, so within the incubation period, the Prime Minister is there with his ministers. In that photograph is Minister Stuart Young. In that photograph is Minister Diyal Singh. And there's a third person here, the CMO, Dr. Parasar. And this is our Prime Minister in his very beautiful Bermuda's beach shirt. And this was the day when he was buffing the population, warning and buffing and talking about fools and only a fool and blah, 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 blah. And here he is with all these ministers who have been in contact with him and nothing has been done. The Minister of Health is therefore is also in dereliction of duty, as is the CMOH. These persons, as I just read from you for the regulation, should be placed in some kind of isolation or quarantine. There should be contact tracing. I'll give you some examples of there's one law for this government who makes these laws and another for all the rest of the citizens. So many persons cannot come back home. The few who get exemptions to come home, what do you do with them? They have to go and stay in a hotel and pay for 2 weeks out of their own pocket to stay in the hotel. But here it is, all these people in direct contact with the Prime Minister within the incubation period, and nothing is being done. Some of them are in the Parliament today. Diyal Singh was there and talking about dereliction of duty. Who is but such a group? Who is more derelict in duty than the Minister of Health, who has taken no steps under the very regulations made by him? One law for them, one law for everybody else.
Remember, when Diyal Singh's daughter-in-law was in our wedding in Tobago and everybody was in contact with somebody COVID-19, all the other doctors had to go into quarantine. But he daughter get to jump on a plane and come back Trinidad. And this nonsense cannot continue. You have people outside Trinidad and Tobago begging small pin for exemption for 12 months, suffering, no medicine, no place to stay, no food, no water, get moving from house to house, some of them getting pelted out, no job, no money coming in. Their houses back home mashing up, getting mold, air condition mash up, dog dead, bird dead, all kind of thing. But when you have a COVID outbreak in Tobago, after the clown in the Bermuda suit, the Bermuda shirt tell all you, Tobago is the place to be. Let's go Tobago. And everybody jump on a little plane so dig each other nose, rub eye, go on across there, lime with he, roast pig, eat, play golf, go on beach, pick up something and pelt it away. You just let all of them, after super spreader Rowley is there, case after case, no social separation, party, alcohol, no mask, whining on each other. They all jump on a little plane and come back Trinidad. But yet citizens are outside and them people denying them the constitutional right to come home to say they're protecting the rock. And you all believe all of this abject total nonsense. Look, even tight pants, Mr. Flex, Mr. Growth Hormone, Mr. One Shot wear 3 times in 3 different functions. Mr. Sweet Boy, Mr. Humbly Handsome, Mr. Landlord, Mr. Take All Your Money, Mr. Recusal Twin, Al Rawi. Look at when he was in the parliament and David Lee was bringing a motion of no confidence in the Minister of Energy, who gone and give gas to Nikon and it blow up. Shut down Petrotrin, it blow up. Point Lisa's gone through, ArcelorMittal gone through, methanol shut down. The whole energy industry collapsed more than he, heart and lungs. And he, Al-Rawi, discussing when David Lee had a little sinus and had a test, and his test was negative. Al-Rawi thought it very important to interrupt the parliamentary sitting, to call a standing order to invoke the Ministry of Health regulations on David Lee. You forget that? So now, today in the parliament, they have no Ministry of Health regulation, no sanitization, no contact tracing. All of them was in contact with the bald head Bermuda shirt wearing Oreo. All of them sit down there to infect everybody across the board, from the parliament staff to the tea lady, to the lady who cleaning, to the boys, the ushers, and everybody, the police, everybody to get infected. Watch this. Run that video.
Privilege. The member is demonstrating serious flu-like symptoms. Is he supposed to be here? I'm raising this in all sincerity.
Attorney General, thanks for drawing it to my attention, but I believe every member has been scanned and screened before their entry in here. I also just want to advise, I take it for granted that every member is responsible. I also take it for granted that every member knows the health protocols. Okay? So that I will allow the member to continue.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
You took it for granted, but you didn't take it for granted that the clown who put you in that chair was irresponsible, did not follow health protocol, obviously did not follow social distancing, did not wear the mask, and was a super spreader who told lies that he did not have interaction with his cabinet ministers, and then tried to say he meant private meetings. We don't care about who you go with in private, boy. Die for Grabby Wabi and Grabby Wabi wife and Judy Raymond. We, you is the Prime Minister. You conducted public meetings, public functions, playing golf in public, liming in public, public sessions, and you spread COVID across this country and talking about other people being irresponsible, shutting down sport without one scientific test to show that sporting activity had any impact on COVID-19. Why you don't shut down golf now? Because clearly you only play golf. You can't kick a lime, you can't play nothing else, you can't swim, you don't play volleyball, you don't play netball, you don't play basketball. You play golf and you get COVID positive. If you are, then shut down golf. All golf clubs as of 4 days ago should have been shut down. Because you shut down all sports without one positive test. I'm just showing you all how ridiculous Trinidad and Tobago is. Furthermore, as we talk about if you have COVID, Rowley, let the Douglas ask you some questions now. Let me ask you some questions. When the 2000 vaccine came from Mia Motley, and you clung the man who can't pass a pharmacological exam, who you make as Minister of Health, to burden we and crash all of we, the dunce you put there, when he went and said Barbados is just a collection point for CARICOM, and you is the chair of CARICOM, and you ain't know nothing, even though you went in the parliament and said the week before that 2000 vaccine was coming from Mia Amor Motley as a gift from Barbados. Why didn't take the vaccine, Rowley? You had said you were going and take it first. You was the first man in line. So when 2000 vaccine, the first 2000 reached, why you didn't stand up like a man, like a leader, like a soldier, like a passionate caretaker, like a father, and take your job first? Aaron Winnie, bullies are always cowards, boy. Why you didn't take it, Rowley? All you feel a lie. Vishnu, run that clip where he say you go take it first now.
I will be the first in line to have my vaccine as long as it is, you will be second.
I'll be second.
So when WHO signs off on what is acceptable as a vaccine for the people of Trinidad and Tobago, I will be the first in line to have my vaccine as long as it is, you will be second.
I'll be second.
As long as it is signed off by WHO as a scientific product for this purpose, I have no hesitation in taking it myself or recommending it for my family. There's nothing first in line to have my vaccine as long as it is, you will be second.
I'll be second.
So the first 2000 reached, and it wasn't in first in line, and the clown wasn't second. All they sent women and children first. All they had all the nurses and them getting injected. Okay, COVAX send the thing now. Vaccine reach. You ballin', you ready to take it Tuesday in Tobago. You're all in the golf course. Sunday, what? Lyman playing around a golf 6 hours. When it's time to take vaccine, all of a sudden you test positive for COVID. Not only that, the story given to us is that you got some symptoms and you went and take a test, and you get your test result in hours, while we don't get hours, in weeks. Some people went in a quarantine, come out quarantine, went back in quarantine, and still I get a test. People don't know how long it has taken to get a test, but you get yours in hours. And just like that, the first thing your boy Blue, Roshan Paris PNM, Roshan come and call a press conference, go on an interview on TV6. He here come to talk about the comorbidities, your age when you're old bald self. He here talk about your bad heart. He here talk about your throat. He here talk about what are the possibilities, what you're monitoring. He here talk about lung function. He here talk about contact tracing. He here talk about your wife who you was loving. Oh no, she's safe. Yes. He here talk about your family. He here talk about the contact tracing of the cabinet. He here talk about you being a super spreader. He here talk about himself because he was in close contact with you and the Alsing right through. You know what he come to tell we? That you can't take the vaccine for 6 months. Who cares? Is that really critically important at that time? Or does it sound a little bit well orchestrated, like a Marshall Montano video? So you now test positive, quick. And the first thing, Dr. Parasram, Express Man of the Year. And all the audience, plenty of the woman thought he looked good, Yes, he looked cute. But a cute dunce with Balize juice don't look attractive no more. And Paris was good looking too. But when you wake up in the morning and you see that and you can't talk to him, you have to send him down the road in the same shot. You have to give him the walk of shame. The same shot he come in, send him back out, because you don't want to have no conversation with such a dunce like Faris Al-Rawi. So, how come everything pointing towards you afraid boy, Rowley boy? How come everything pointing to you's a coward boy? How come everything pointing, come now man, you like gallery, you do real-estate interview, we know you're lazy, you don't do no work, you tell we here do cabinet for 2 weeks, all of a sudden you have COVID-19 with comorbidities at 71 years old, and you in a red jersey doing a Zoom meeting, cabinet meeting, like you just do work? All you really feel people stupid? If even you was Mother Teresa, a bastion of integrity and intelligence and honesty, we would have questioned you. Then all of a sudden, we read in your Facebook post, oh, the doctors who are in charge of Rowley's healthcare, they took him from where he was, bundled him in a car with security and so on, and took him to the hospital for an MRI. Where in the world of infectious disease science do you pick up a human being from in a quarantine pristine bubble area, introduce other people to the bubble so that they could get infected, take them on a journey for an MRI to check lung function and possibly infect everybody around there, and then after the MRI bring them back home first and foremost? Where in the world, what doctor in the world, what scientist in the world has said that that is protocol? Then we find out the MRI working. Oh Lord, run it, Davis, to run it. As part of the ongoing healthcare and observation provided to Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Keith Rowley in Tobago, the assigned doctors took the Prime Minister from the official residence at Blenheim to the Scarborough General Hospital at Signal Hill, where he underwent an MRI examination to monitor his lung function. The Prime Minister has since returned to quarantine. So me I know quarantine with pause, it a quarantine with gap, it a quarantine with line, it a quarantine without quarantine. Now let's move on. Raise up that now. Liz Williams now, reporter from Tobago. The Prime Minister did not undergo an MRI, as that machine has been non-operational since last year. That in itself had no shame. The TRHA has confirmed the Prime Minister did not undergo an MRI at the Scarborough Hospital, as previously stated by his office. But a CT scan was done. Hey, I don't know what to tell you again, you know. If you don't find that weird, that funny, that dishonest, that kicksy, that are more question and answer, and all you, let us be clear. In order to wish someone well, they must first be sick. So if we don't believe that you're sick, what we wishing you well for? What we wishing you well? If you want to prove that we don't tell we, show we no Zoom meeting a cabinet, show we they taking a swab and chucking it up in your nose hole. Then show we the scientists taking it and putting it in a rapid test kit while all the media film it. And then show we, let the scientists say, well, when we do this here and we shake it, if it turns blue, it's positive. If it turns red, it's negative. Me, I know how they do it, but however they do it. And let them show we live without editing. And all they like TV, well, show the country this positive test. And show we the MRI that you didn't take. And furthermore, the irresponsible behavior of you, Prime Minister, being moved from place to place, lying about MRI and come back with COVID-19 to infect and super spread. Are you really serious? And y'all were telling me, a lot of y'all who play in Mocha Golf Club, Oh, Kamala want to build a dome. Yes, with brick and mortar. Build a dome. Not protect our borders. Do you know information out of Venezuela is that they have been on total lockdown for the last 3 to 4 weeks? That COVID-19 is so rampant because 6 weeks ago they had their carnival and Maduro opened up and let everybody in Margarita and thing have fun and intermingle and wine and dance like he and Rowley was doing the conga line. And COVID-19 exploded. And you know Maduro is not a bastion of honesty and science and testing, just like his friend down here, 2p in a pod. Well, COVID-19 ravaging Venezuela and our borders porous. The only people that we could keep out is we own citizens. Anybody else could come in. So well done. Are we still number 1 in COVID? All the newspapers are asking, how did we move from the heights of brilliance in our COVID protocols to being the worst in vaccine? Yeah, because all you believe that nonsense. 2 Oxford students who probably eat some funny cake and drink some pints of lager. Right? 2 pieces of stupidness, and all you believe that. How could we be number 1 when we had no testing, no contact tracing, no rapid testing? The test kits that came from China didn't even function. We didn't have no testing during Carnival. The first death was during Carnival down here Lyman. And we are number 1. For about 4 months, we only had 4,300 tests out of 1.3 million people. And you all believe that. But now the truth has come out and the mamagism continues. And you all want to believe that? Rowley, you keep going, man. I want to hear the all sing. All golf club closed. All bars and golf club locked down. All golf clubs where Rowley was had to stop to be sanitized. Parliament must be sanitized. Rowley Palace must be sanitized. His children, poor children, family, quarantine. All cabinet ministers, quarantine. Their families, quarantine. All them who in Tobago, stay over there in quarantine. Don't come back through the airport to spread. Y'all are super spreaders, man. We are 1 PNM fool away from a lockdown. We coming back.
Sugar politics, we don't get no kicks. Trinidad and Tobago, do we have this thing out to fix? We coming with facts, cut them down like axe. Every kid and race finally got places love to the max. And when we tell them, Manel, Douglas politics, this is Douglas politics, yo. Douglas politics, listen, Douglas politics, yeah. Douglas politics, this is Douglas politics, yeah. Douglas politics, this is Douglas politics.
And it is zero race talk, zero idiotic talk. I deal with facts and information.
And welcome back to Douglas Politics. Now, if all you want to know what you have as a Prime Minister, the Prime Minister did an interview with Ria Tate, and he said that the UNC want to push this false narrative that he is a liar. We want to push that. Mr. Emailgate, Mr. 6 months, Mr. didn't even type in to say, or had to be able to, even a 5-year-old could know something without enough characters to be an email, could not go up in no cloud, to come who lie on the president, the former president, after the man dead, you change your story. The man who is the Asdrubal Chavez, the man who say he didn't know why Delcy come, she come to talk COVID-19, and then that he didn't know it was a PDVSA jet. He didn't know they were PDVSA officials who came to meet him. He didn't know that the fuel went from Trafigura PTE to Pointe-à-Pierre back to ES Euro shipping into Venezuela. You didn't know nothing. You are the bastion of truth. Vishnu, let me watch this video and see the man who all you put as Prime Minister, who had a track record of failing since 1986, you know. Run it. Run the video, man.
Is your wallet feeling lighter? Is your grocery cupboard looking bare? Are your taps dry? Then you may have Rowley 19. Rowley 19 is a virus which is currently infecting the nation of Trinidad and Tobago. But have no fear. Here are some tips to help cure yourself and prevent the spread of Rowley 19. Practice social distancing. Avoid places Keith Rowley will be, like at Maduro's Palace, his friends AV Drilling, or on sanctioned planes. Always wash your ears. Keith Rowley loves to tell lies.
The government is not closing down Petrotrin.
All the employees of Petrotrin will exit the company. All.
Always wash your ears after listening to Keith Rowley speak. Wear a mask at all times so you can express yourself freely without Keith Rowley seeing and then attacking you like he does with the media and anyone who criticizes him.
But I'm not going to sit here and let the press conferences become you come in here as accredited press people and you have imps outside. And I know that you will accept that from a prime minister who always tells you the truth.
Amazing. Now I have to deal with a friend of mine. And I call him a friend because I know him years, since 1983. When he was a struggling DJ coming from down in Siparia side, down in South. And I got to know him over the years. And even though we differ politically, I still consider him a friend. But my brother Tony Chowlin on Chinese Laundry, you posted up something that I have to ask my brother some questions. Put it up big so I could read it. Let me read the post of Tony Chowlin on Chinese Laundry. Put it up there. Let me read it. Wishing our PM a speedy recovery. Dr. Keith Rowley, blessings. All right, that's fair enough. That your brethren. P.S. It's unbelievable how much racism and hate exists. I thank social media for letting me know who is who. If I blocked you, just know that I'm not going to be part of all that toxic politics. Sans humanité. How can you be doing candlelight vigils at night and so hateful by day? I am fighting for the We Are One, TNT. Stay away from me, to whom it may concern. All right, pull it down. Well, my brother, I have read your post. It sounds very good. But the sans humanité that you're talking about, I have a question for you. When the man who you are defending with such heart and soul, when he spoke on a platform, when another human being was suffering from a debilitating stroke and nearing his deathbed, and that man got up on a platform, and you would be quite aware because you are a PNM, my friend, and he said that man, Patrick Manning, put him out and fired him from the cabinet, and that he, Keith Rowley, is from Mason Hall, Nata Lekoto, and maybe you don't know sans humanité, but since you use French, you must know that Lekoto, the practice, the history, the spirituality is from the French arts, the voodoo, the black magic, the obia. And Rowley boasted that he put Spirit Lash and obia on Manning, and that's why Manning was near death's door. Is this the human being that you are cursing other people for? And you are defending and claiming sans humanité? When this man gets up and lies on other human beings in the parliament and commits them and accuses them of conspiracy to murder, of acts of terrorism, and he lies with a straight face, where's your We Are One? Or is it We Are Balizé and fire burn the rest? I am asking you this as my friend. Tony Chowlinon, Chinese Laundry. When your brethren, Stuart Smallpin Young, accuses the United National Congress without a shred of evidence, without one iota of proof, of paying criminals to randomly and sporadically shoot and kill innocent citizens in order to make him look bad. Where's the sans humanité? Where's the we are one, my brother, Chinese Laundry? When your man who you are defending speaks about the leader of the opposition and women in general in the most vile, derogatory terms, go and drink your rum, geometry, I not in your bedroom, choose your man wisely. Where's the sans humanité? When he tells poor people, wean themselves off the government, we have nothing more for you. But you and your friends, your boys, your partners, you know I know who's your partners, recusing themselves from cabinet every other day and getting millions and millions for their family and friends. Where's the we are one? Where's the sans humanité? These are just questions your friend, your partner is asking you. When they put CPEP contracts, when CPEP is for poor people to put food on the table, and in the marginal constituencies, they pump up, the PNM pumps up CPEP upwards of 600% as compared with other constituencies, especially those of the United National Congress. And the resources are not put in place for the human beings to eat, and they starve and they suffer. Where's the sans humanité, my brother, Chinese Laundry? You see, so when you get up on Facebook, and Facebook is a public platform, you're a public figure, you own a public radio station that promotes PNM right through from morning to evening, I never get vexed with you. That is your democratic right. But for you to take the position all of a sudden that your friend who you support for whatever reason, and that's your business, when that man suffers people outside and leaves them out of the country and they cannot come home to their family and take care of their property and cannot be in the country of their birth, where is your sans humanité? Are you able to get an exemption and go and come? I don't know. Maybe. But if we're talking sans humanité and we are one, what is your position on that? What is your position on all your followers and fans of 96.1 and Laundry who are stuck outside of the country of their birth because your man keep them out? And Barbados had to take care of them, and Suriname had to take care of them, and Margarita had to take care of them. So be careful who you're defending, sir. I think you're on shaky ground. So these are a few questions from your friend since 1983, my brother Tony Chowlinon. When you talk racism, when Maxi Coffee writes an article and talks the most rabid racist nonsense, or Rowley's friend in Tobago says Calcutta ship, or when Kamla Prasad Bisesa calls him a blank man, because nobody will call Rowley black. In fact, Chinese Laundry, you blacker than Rowley. You even went on a soca monarch stage and mash up the place with soca. Not so? With some girls in some fluorescent green wig, mash up the dance. Some will say you are blacker than Rowley, but you play race card. You say that giving a child a banana, and my child, very active, running, swimming, tennis, playing, flipping, all kind of things. She's eat at least 4 bananas a day. When Hindu people cherish and worship monkey, you all play race games and divide the country. The country is more divided now than ever before because of your friend Dr. Rowley. Where the sans humanité? Where the we are one? When he lied and he shut down Petrotrain and 10,389 people out of work and the fence line community is shut down and people are suffering and hungry. Where's the sans humanité? when is COVID bungling, has us in the back of the line, and people are dying, when we are the worst in CARICOM, and we have no vaccination and no herd immunity on the way, and our mothers and grandmothers and sisters and elderly are at great risk and in grave danger. Where's the we are one? Where's the sans humanité? So with all due respect, my brother Chinese Laundry, take your heart and soul. You could love Rowley how much you want. For whatever reason, that is not my business. But don't try to pretend that he is some humane person who believes and loves people. He has increased the poverty line. You won't know about that because God blessed you. You worked hard, you worked well, and you created a good empire for yourself. I'm proud of you. But not everybody has been so lucky. Some people work hard and their businesses are shutting down now. 38% of businesses have collapsed. Look at you, you even make money with the worst meat, in the worst tasting food in the whole country. Yes, my friend. But they say Mr. Chow is the worst food in the Caribbean. But you somehow open my next outlet. I am proud of you. But citizens have lost jobs, lost homes, foreclosures since Rowley has come in due to his policies of devastation, due to his negotiation of gas price that collapsed the entire Point Lisas and gas industry. People can't get foreign exchange. Maybe you can. I don't know, my brother. But where's the humanity with the distribution of foreign exchange when citizens cannot get it? Businesses shutting down, they cannot go. So please, while you may want to wish your brother well and your friend, you know that he tests positive, please provide me your brother, I your friend. Show me the test, show me when he tests, show me where he tests, show me how he tests, how he got the results. Show me now, since you might have more information. So don't come and attack everybody because we do not share your belief, your false belief that Rowley is some we are one, we are the world. So I hope you will answer your friend, Mr. Tony Chowlenon, my brother. Answer me this. And don't say you get emotional about racism on the social media. Both sides have idiots with racism. Some of them are paid by the NLCB, 15,000 per month without advertisement to spew PNM racism. And on our side, the UNC, we have some people who spew that nonsense. That Kamla Prasad Bisesa always denounces that. Rowley has divided this country like never before. We are in pain. We are suffering. The poverty rate has increased from 16.8 to 24% before COVID. That is somewhere up at 29%. The debt to GDP ratio when he came in was 60%. It is now at 91% and heading to 100% with Colm Imbert coming to borrow more money on the 16th of April once they sanitize the parliament. So please, don't present a false narrative about Rowley being some humane, some lover of people. He loves no one but himself and his financiers. Maybe you are one of those financiers. I do not know, nor do I care. But don't hoodwink me. Don't try to mislead the population with abject nonsense. My brother, Tony Chowlenon. Remember where you came from. Remember how hard you work to reach where you are. And remember that we are proud of your success. We have no ill feeling. So watch your words when you're attacking people in general. If you have a problem with an individual, speak to that individual, like how I am speaking to you with respect directly. Break.
Front page in the Express. Rowley has throat cancer. Thank God I have no such thing. What I have is a desire to ensure that those who make those kinds of statements, they have more cancer than me.
It's awful, you know, I wouldn't wish cancer on anyone.
What I am saying is that we can all be victims, whatever your status in life. Cancer threatens our entire population.
What I have is a desire to ensure that those who make those kinds of statements, they have more cancer than me. I want to tell you something. I'm from Mason Hall in Tobago. Mason Hall very close to Liquor 2. The last time I was put out of anywhere for anything, the person who put me out regretted it. Remember I was in the cabinet? I took issue over the behavior of Calder Hart and UDCOP. And what happened to me? I was put out of the cabinet. The person who put me out regretted it.
That was just to remind you, in case you thought that Anil was not telling the truth, my brother. Let me now continue with a bit as we on the Sans Humanité. Look at this report here. Senior citizens line up at Diego Martin Health Center to register for COVID-19 shots. And there's a picture of about 60 elderly people, citizens, lining up to put on their name to hopefully get a shot when the shots reach. That's the best system. That's the We Are One. That's caring for our elderly. That's the best system that Keith Rowley could put in place to leave our old people suffering and lining up. Look another article. Caribbean Airlines. And we own? And the taxpayers and you all just pay for that Caribbean Airlines? Let me read something for you now. Caribbean Airlines delivering vaccines throughout the region. So our airline is delivering vaccines throughout CARICOM, but we can't get none. Sans Humanité, all are we at risk because of one man. Hear this? We love sport. Our athletes are ambassadors for Trinidad and Tobago. When Hazley ran in 10:05, well, at first it was 10:05, but then they officially made it 10:06 to win gold in 1976. When Keshawn threw 84-58 to win gold in 2012. When we qualified for World Cup in Bahrain, November 2005. When we played at the World Cup in Germany and we draw with Sweden, we took England 82 minutes, 0-0. And then we played a good game, a valiant game against Paraguay. We felt proud. Our athletes perform for us. They market our country. They give us pride to wake up and go. Excitement, joy. They make us unite. But not the PNM. Hear what the PNM telling our athletes. Shampa Kujo, the Minister of Sport. There will be no preferential treatment for Trinidad and Tobago athletes with regard to the rollout of AstraZeneca vaccines. There will be no preferential treatment. Why? Our athletes deserve preferential treatment. Our athletes need preferential treatment in order to get out in the world that is being vaccinated, with the Olympics just a few months away. Our athletes need to go and train and compete, so they need their vaccine passport to be accepted by countries that are more advanced, efficient, and competent than us. So this separation of our athletes is not humane. It is ridiculous and shows how far the PNM has lost their way. Clarence Rambarat says, there's another PNM. International cooperation is key to Trinidad and Tobago food safety. Have you all ever heard more abject nonsense? For us to feed ourselves, we need international help. That's all I vote for. Not we need to put more acreage. We need to give incentives to our farmers, attract get more young people into farming, use more scientific methods, use different types of spacing, get the country to buy local, eat local, get our supermarkets to give local produce a place of prominence in the grocery and so on. Not more markets, we need somebody outside to help we to make food for ourselves. Great is the PNM, Sans Humanité. Let's talk about this. The Express now says what most of us know, that all the people who have lost their jobs, a lot of them are resorting to vending to earn some money. So whether it's fruit, vegetables, selling clothes, buying goods and then reselling, people are hitting the streets to survive. And what does Keith Rowley do and the PNM? They beat up and lock up vendors, throw them off the street, police locking them up and throwing away their goods, throwing food on the ground and fruit and vegetables scattered all around. That is PNM, Sans Humanité, while they're in the golf club drinking scotch and eating shrimps. Franklin can, in between coffee, does lie like Rowley too. Franklin can now come and say that the Nikwan deal that he consummated, that he signed up on, that he collect the money for, that he get the gas for, and give them his ministerial share of gas. He said that was a people partnership plan. People partnership choose Nikwan. Let me tell you something. Nikwan, whatever all you say. Nikwan was a PNM initiative under Ken Julian and Malcolm Jones. Nikwan, Malcolm Jones was the executive director. Malcolm Jones took $3 billion of your money to waste in a world GTL and another $10 billion on another project. They all flopped. When we went into power in 2010, the entire GTL thing was in receivership. You know what receivership means? There is a receiver. PricewaterhouseCoopers was the receiver. The receiver himself, his name was Brian Hackett. Brian Hackett, as the receiver, did a tender, and Nikwan won the tender at that time. However, the most important issue in moving forward was the availability of gas, the natural gas supply. The People's Partnership did not see it as a viable project and therefore did not make gas, valuable gas, available to Nikwan because it was a condition precedent of the contract moving forward. In comes Franklin Can. Out goes Alison Due Diligence Lewis, who was a permanent secretary, Ministry of Finance. As PNM win, she jumped on a PNM board, and then she, as the port chairman, and then she also went on the Nikwan board and going to raise money for Nikwan. Franklin Can then took your gas, the people gas, under the minister's share, and in 2018 he gave them that, and he made good on the condition precedent, and therefore he brought Nikwan into reality. Franklin Lion Can, shame on you, boy. And now he come. He then opened it 2 weeks ago. He opened it with fanfare. Keith Christopher, Humanity Rowley, said this is the greatest achievement of the PNM. This is business. This is great stuff. We on Douglas Politics show Nikwan burning, people out in fire. Then Ainsley Gill, Mr. PNM, firing people because the Douglas get the video. People who working in Nikwan for a month and 2 months from before only get 1 week salary. 1 week salary. Rowley's Nikwan, Franklin Can Nikwan, they only pay the workers 1 week salary. Then we saw things happening, and the Douglas asked them, What is going on, Nikwan? You want to raise 172 million US on the open capital market. You want investors to put your money. Please tell us, what's that big fire there? Is there a buildup of wax? Is there wax in your ears that need Q-tip? What is going on at Nikwan? Are y'all producing any diesel? At what percentage capacity are y'all operating? I remember asking these questions, and then, boom, Vishnu, run it, boy.
As he officially opened Nikwan Energy's gas-to-liquid plant at Pointe-a-Pierre on Monday, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley said the plant was a prime example of successful development.
The energy sector is booming, Madam Speaker.
Current situation. ETL Nikwan. That is it. Watch that one.
The energy sector is booming, Madam Speaker.
Well done. So boom goes Nikwan. People feel it all down in Labre. We don't know who plays mashup. The government is sending nobody to check neighboring areas to see if any children is affected, any building crack, any foundation, any wall, nothing. Just boom. And Ainsley Gill, I know you have to deal with some Damians based on state land thing, but try and pay the workers and them the money now, because they don't look like all you're going to be making much revenue in the short term at least, right? So pay the workers and them who walk in. As we talking about pay, well, Judy Raymond, Rowley at war with Al-Rawi, boy. Iron Man versus One Shot. That sound like a cartoon. I think we'll have to bring back Planet Senator, you know. We might have to bring back that next week. Here, Judy Raymond, repeating the letter of the law. The AG went further. He said his wife's firm is forbidden to receive work from the office of the AG. Now, says Judy Raymond, the AG is not the same position as the ordinary member of cabinet. Firstly, he is the second most senior figure in the executive, without whom a cabinet cannot be constituted. Secondly, it is the nature of the AG's office that he holds responsibility across all ministries on legal matters. He is cabinet's chief legal advisor. But Judy Raymond, you're taking notes from Douglas politics, or all you don't feel Anil right that, you know. Now, if all you was looking at the show last week, all you would have known that I say exactly that. Isn't it funny and ironic that now, all of a sudden, the PNM mass media is turning and starting to talk the truth after you all were hoodwinked to dip in your finger for a clown who you all said was doing good on COVID? He do so good on COVID that he maybe catch COVID or pretending to get COVID. We don't know whether he pretend or he actually have it, but either way, it's total incompetence. This is the second time, says Judy Raymond, in the space of a few days, that he has viewed legal technicalities as licensed to set an unfortunate example. Judy Raymond, you attacking One Shot? One shot, one kill? She continued, from the provision of the Integrity in Public Life Act, which holds officials in public life and their spouses to standards meant to discourage the mixing of public office and private gain. Mr. Al-Rawi is also now clearly conflicted in relation to the state's move to remove legal services from the public procurement law. Had his wife already been hired to do legal work, as he sat in the parliament presiding over the watering down of the law? All you now learning propriety corporate governance, conflict of interest. All they didn't know that when he and Smallpin recused themselves 97 times. All they didn't know that when they rent out his own building in cabinet, when they outfitted for 18 million and then the next 20 million. All they didn't understand that when Franklin Khan wife, the cabinet rent out she building for a court in Faizabad. All they didn't know that when a convent girl wife on a company that getting contract all over the place. All they didn't know none of that when Smallpin brother just get lucky and move from zero public sector work to $3.81 billion of public sector work in 4 years after the Smallpin put his hand on the Bible and say, I Smallpin do solemnly swear to choke hard. Eh? That's what you all do in this country and calling other people thief? Amazing. So great is the PNM. It's a battle day. Now let me finish up on a kind of sad note, but incompetence abounds. A Barrackpore woman drowns in Guaguari, celebrating her birthday. A fireman drowned trying to save some of his family members during the holiday. And the union rep is saying the lack of resources, the lack of payment, the lack of equipment by the Minister of National Security is putting people's lives at risk. This has been going on for 5 years. The lifeguards cannot get paid on time. They cannot get jet skis. They cannot get equipment. They wear in the same jersey and drawers right through. They can't even get a Speedos. At Maracas, they cannot even build an area for them to put their belongings, their articles, and so on. But our people are drowning and dying. A fireman, a hero, had to lose his life because Stuart Smallpin Young is not resourcing the lifeguards. The government is resourcing his brother on Arapita Avenue, though, and his father and Sajika. Great is the PNM. Them will survive. But we are all one, ain't? We gone. Bless.
Till they go to we have this thing out the